Students, and welcome to today's live Ielts class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that everybody is having an awesome weekend so far. I hope that you're staying healthy and happy through the weekend. Students, this is a members chat class. To join the chat today, you need to be a member. However, if you're not a member, there's still lots of learning to be had, and the content from this class will be related to the content of the next class. That's because right now we are looking at Ielts Speaking Part 2, which is the cue card. It's the long part of the speaking section. And the next class will be Speaking Part 3. Speaking Part 3, a little bit later today, is related to the topic of Speaking Part 2. So even if you're not a member, definitely hang in there and follow along. Today's cue card will focus on a healthy and fit person. Health is a very important part of life, of course, as everyone knows. And talking about physical activity, health, fitness, these are common topics for the Ielts exam. These are topics that are common to all people around the world. So you can often see reading passages, writing questions, or speaking questions related to the topic of health and fitness. Welcome, Amra. Hello, Amrit. Hi, Monica. Welcome, members. Nice to see many of you joining in. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic Ielts, check us out there. For general Ielts, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots of materials, videos, practice exams, interactive courses to help you improve your vocabulary, your communication skills for the Ielts exam. This is our academic Ielts website here. You can click this big red button to join our premium Ielts package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. It's not a subscription. You don't have to pay each month. You just pay once and you get to use all the materials as long as you need to. We are an official British Council Ielts Test Registration Center and certified agents, so you are in great hands with us. We are in the news about what's going on with Ielts from day to day. Welcome, Rashika, and we help thousands of students each day to improve for their Ielts exam. For the general Ielts, check us out at gieltshelp.com. It's the same idea as academic Ielts, except the writing and reading sections are slightly different. It's the green background here. Again, click this big red button to join. When you do that, today you can use this discount code, HAPPY9. We have this code going on this week in our live classes, HAPPY9, for a 20% discount. All right, students, Amrit says new video. Indeed, we do have a new video. This is a second speaking interview with a candidate from Kerala. He is fantastic. He gets a band 8 for his speaking. To check out this speaking video and lesson, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our YouTube channel, and use this link. I'll put it into the chat. This is a brand new video that we released just a couple of hours ago. And there's some subtitles there to help you understand the video and to practice with it. So members, if you haven't seen it yet, check that out at some point when you have some time on the weekend. That's this speaking video here. And I've again put the link into the chat for you to click on. I will also maybe put it into the description of the video later as well. Okay. All right. There we go. Let's make that white. There. Okay, so we've got this speaking class. Again, we've got the speaking class after this as well. And we have a speaking class tomorrow. So usually Sundays, we're doing other activities. But this week, tomorrow, we have another speaking class where I will conduct full speaking interviews with our viewers. That class will be on Lighthall, not YouTube. Lighthall is a platform designed for live teaching. So it's real time and we communicate directly in the Lighthall platform. In this class, we will be communicating through our website. So you're not just going to hear my voice, but you will hear the voice of candidates practicing for their IELTS exam. Specifically, hopefully, members, you will be volunteering a little bit later on for this Part 2 cue card. All right, let's take a look at speaking Part 2. Let me move the card down a little bit here. So this is our card for today. And step number 1 is to read this card carefully. So let's do that. When you are in your IELTS speaking section interview, the examiner will ask you some questions about you for Part 1, like about your hobbies, for example, or sports that you like to play. And then they will introduce the cue card. And the way they will do that is they will say, okay, that is the end of speaking Part 1. We will now continue with Part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these questions, think about your answers. You can take notes in the 1 minute time if you wish. You have some note paper and a pencil. Then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Okay, your 1 minute preparation time begins now. So your step number 1 is, of course, to carefully read the card. Part 2, you have to practice before your IELTS exam, even if you're a native English speaker, because this is a type of speaking that we don't usually do. Okay, most of us don't talk for 1 to 2 minutes on specific questions like this, so it takes practice to give a high quality response. And speaking Part 2 has a major impact on your overall speaking score, and arguably your speaking score is the most important score of your IELTS exam. A lot of people out there, for different reasons like work or school, need the highest band score on their speaking section. Okay, that's because we verbally communicate our needs and wants. So it's very important. There's a reason for that. Okay, so don't rush. Go step by step. Focus on strategy. Okay, step 1, read the question carefully. Read the question very carefully so that you speak about the right ideas and stay on topic. Okay, so let's do that now. Let's read this question carefully together. IELTS speaking Part 1. Describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Who is the person? What sports do they play? How does playing sports affect this person's life? What is your opinion of him or her? You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare. Okay, good. Now, Amrit is asking a question here, and I want to answer it. So I am looking at the questions. Amrit, and Amrit has a good question here for us. Okay, so Amrit's question about speaking part 2 in the chat is what happens, so let's correct this, Amrit, questions, asking correct questions. What happens, right, it's general present tense. What happens if I speak for 1 minute? 1 minute is not plural because it's one. If I speak for 1 minute and answer all the questions. Okay. So, Amrit, if the examiner hasn't stopped you, you should keep talking, especially if you have only talked or spoken for 1 minute. You'd have to be extremely fluent and extremely professional in your communication to do a really good job, like a band 9 in 1 minute. It's highly unlikely. You should speak for at least 90 seconds if the examiner does not stop you, okay? Now, what you should do is, first of all, check the questions. Make sure that you really did answer all of them. If the examiner hasn't stopped you, there's a good chance that you haven't really answered all the questions. So check the questions and make sure that you did really answer all of them. Okay? If the examiner hasn't stopped you, there's a good chance you might have missed a question. Okay, now in case you actually did, okay, so let's say Amrit, you're like, okay, well, but really I did. I just looked at each question and I answered each one, okay? Then you need to elaborate, okay? If you really did or truly did answer all the questions, then you have to give more details, but make sure to stay on topic. Okay, this is when a lot of candidates go off topic and start talking about different ideas. They start talking about famous sportsmen and sportswomen that they saw on television, and that's off topic. So you have to talk about a person who is healthy and fit that you know. It means you personally know them, okay? Most likely they're not asking about a famous sports star, all right? And definitely don't start talking about your mother's cooking or your brother's project in university. So you have to stay on topic. You have to elaborate. Pay special attention to the last two questions. These are the questions that can use a lot of information. Okay, so very good question, Amrit, because this does happen to students. So here, the last two questions are, how does playing sports affect this person's life? And what is your opinion of him or her? So these would be the two questions that I would especially focus on if I feel like I have answered in 1 minute and I still have some time and the examiner hasn't stopped me. Okay, who is the person and what sports do they play? I mean, yeah, I get it. There's probably not too much information after you have given the answers for those, okay? So pay special attention to the last two questions when you continue to elaborate. All right, Amrit? Does that make sense, everybody? Rashika, Monica? So look at the last two questions, especially if you still have more time, okay? And then go into more details. All right. So again, we're looking at the cue card, IELTS speaking part 2. Describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Who is the person? What sports do they play? How does playing sports affect this person's life? And what is your opinion of him or her? Okay, that's good. So step 1, we read the question carefully and twice for the topic so we know what we're talking about. And now for step 2, we want to identify the category. Think of inclusions, think of structure, and the tense, grammar tense that we use. That we should focus on, okay? When we're talking about the category, as the members know, it could be about a person, a place, an event, an idea, or an object, okay? Each one has a structure that you should think about to have good speaking. So this one here is clearly about a person because it's a healthy and fit person that you know, okay? So when we're talking about a person, members, what do we need to include so that we have a good presentation? Yes, so Amra says you should think about their appearance, what they look like. Okay. All right. And Rashika says, secondly, you should think about their personality through action. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, let me give you just a really quick example of what I mean. So, my friend Tim is very athletic. He is 1 meter 90 centimeters tall and is very muscular. He is extremely dedicated to fitness. He works out at least 6 times each week. Okay, so here is this concept of appearance. Okay, so here's the appearance. He's 1 meter 90 centimeters tall, okay, and he's very muscular. And then here is personality. Okay, he is extremely dedicated, right, to fitness. And then here is the action. That backs up his personality. He works out at least 6 times each week. So this gives clarity for my listener, okay? And this is what you need to think about, all right? So if I say my friend Tim is very athletic, he is 1 meter 90 centimeters tall, and he is very muscular. He is extremely dedicated to fitness. He works out at least 6 times each week. Now, the listener has a good idea of the appearance. It's visual. They can see the person, and then they can start to understand this person's character through their actions. Okay? All right? So this is what you need to think of very quickly when you are in part 2 and you have to speak about a person. This is true for talking about any person, okay? We want to put a face, a picture to this person, and then when you tell us about their personality, like being kind or being funny, then we need to learn about their actions to truly understand why they're funny or how they are kind, okay? All right, so we're talking about a person. We remember these elements. Great. Now, what is the tense here, members? So describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Who is the person? What sports do they play? How does playing sports affect this person's life? What kind of grammar tense are we using mostly, do you think, in this response? You can kind of figure it out from the example that I just gave you as well. Okay, both Amra and Amrit agree that it is present perfect, okay? So most common grammar for this question should be present perfect, yes. Present tense, present perfect, because we are talking about this person in general, right? So it's not past, present, and future. You might use some past, you might use some future, but definitely the focus here is on the present and present perfect. Also, the continuous forms. Okay. Because we're talking about this person in general. Right? So they did this in the past, they're doing this today, they're likely going to do this in the future as well. Members, why are we using the present perfect in this response? So it's very important to understand the reasons for grammar in English. When we're talking about a healthy and fit person who plays sports, certainly present perfect is a very useful form of grammar. So present perfect would be something like, he has been playing basketball for at least 20 years. Okay, so let's say that I give a sentence like this. He has been playing basketball for at least 20 years. Why would we use the present perfect here? So what does the present perfect help us to emphasize? Okay. So keep this in mind. The present perfect grammar helps the communicator to emphasize. That's right, Amra. Very nice. Amra, you have been studying very hard, I can tell, and that's brilliant, okay? To emphasize experience and achievement. Okay, so when we use the present perfect, then the listener really clearly understands that this person, this fit person that we're talking about, we're really emphasizing their experiences, and of course their experiences playing sports and doing fitness, and their achievement in sports and fitness. Okay, does that make sense? So experience and achievement, and clearly when talking about a person doing sports and staying fit, those are absolutely achievements. They're physical achievements for that individual. And usually people who are athletic and who play sports, they do it for a long time. So the present perfect is very well used in context. Okay. All right. Now, step 3 is think about at least 2 to 3 good ideas for your answer. Okay, so maybe you think about your brother who has played football for 15 years. Okay, maybe you think about your sister who has been swimming competitively for or since they're 5 years old. Okay, maybe you have a fitness trainer. Okay. Fitness trainer who plays, I don't know, golf. Okay. Or maybe you yourself play sports and you have a cricket coach. Who has been playing sports for 30 years. Okay. All right, so all of those could be good choices. Here, what's important is that it's a person that you know, and most of us know a healthy and fit person. So if you can actually think of a real person that you know who is healthy and fit, that plays sports regularly, especially if they play competitively, then that's great, okay? What's really important is that you're specific here, okay? All right. So any one of these in this case could be good, especially if it's a real person that you know. I'm just going to use my imagination here for this one. Let's go with a sister who has been swimming competitively or since the age of 5. Okay, let's go with that one today. I'm moving along nicely here, and I do see that in the chat we've got some suggestions coming up. Okay. So Amrit says friend. Be more specific, Amrit. Okay, so step 4. All right, we're not going to spend too much time on the choices today. We're just going to move along. Is some useful notes, okay? Useful notes, all right? So for this one, we're going to go with the sister, okay? And we're going to use our imagination. We're going to work on this together. But then, members, very soon, I will give you a chance to do part 2 with me through the website, so you will have a chance to actually speak and everybody will be able to hear your response. So for today, for that part, I definitely encourage you to give your own original answer, okay? So try to really think of a person that you really do know who is athletic, not was athletic, okay? So it's not somebody who's retired, or it's somebody who still is athletic, okay? So write down useful notes. For the example, we're going to talk about sister that does swimming. And when you're doing your notes, then simply think about the structure. So first of all, the appearance. Now, don't write down appearance on your notes. Just keep in mind that it's appearance. You might write down something like an A, like that, so you know that you're writing a little bit about the appearance, okay? All right. So give me some words that can describe a fit female, okay? So how could we describe a fit female? Okay, what kind of words would be good descriptors? For describing a fit female, just visualize the person and then go through the description here, okay? So let's say long brown hair, sure. Okay, so those are the give me's. Those are the simple ones. You might not even have to. Blue eyes, sure. That doesn't have to do with fitness though, so those ones aren't so important. Okay, so she's muscular. Okay. Rashika, good personality is very general. Okay. Mien, when we say tall, instead of saying tall, try to give me a measurement. Okay. Maybe 175. It's a fairly tall woman, I would say. Okay. Or we could go even taller, up to you. Okay, 180, right? Yes, definitely when we're talking about fitness, height and weight are very good descriptors, because when we're talking about fitness, people are always like, how tall and what's the weight, right? It's the body mass index, okay? All right, so strong arms and even back. Nice, Amra. I'm going to help you with that. Broad shoulders. Okay, broad shoulders, swimmers get those broad shoulders. We say broad shoulders. Okay, that's the specific collocation that we use. Broad shoulders, and you can now connect that with swimming. Hourglass figure. Okay, the hourglass figure specifically, so I'm going to help you a little bit here. Alvina, thank you for your super chat donation. I see that. If you'd like to join the chat, you have to be a member of the channel. And I see you retracted a message, but go ahead and send the message, okay? So hourglass figure, an hourglass figure for a woman is this figure here, when the woman has that figure, okay? All right. So that kind of a figure, that's what we call the hourglass figure, all right? And usually women who are fit in many cases have this hourglass figure, okay? All right. Mien, hopefully that made sense now that I drew it for you, okay? An hourglass, think about the hourglass where the sand is dropping in the hourglass. Here's the hourglass, okay? And then you have the sand, and the sand is trickling through, okay? So, got it? Okay, so it's an hourglass figure. All right, so long brown hair, blue eyes, muscular, 1 meter 80. Don't forget the weight, maybe like 65 kilograms if they're 180, or 70 kilograms for a woman, right? I'm not too good at weight and women and height, so you might have to help me here, ladies. My guess would be that a realistic healthy weight for 1 meter 80 centimeters for a swimmer type body would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 kilos. I'm a guy at 180 and I weigh about 82, so I'm guessing it would be about 70 kilos, right? Okay. So long brown hair, blue eyes, muscular, 180, 70 kilos, broad shoulders, hourglass figure, defined muscles. Okay. So good. Very nice. Arm rate 60 kilograms for 180, I think is a bit on the light side. Okay, personality. So when you're thinking about personality in your notes, when you're talking about a person, you should always include action as well, okay? So your notes should also always be personality plus action, okay? So, dedicated. "5 a.m. practice." Okay. Let's do it like that. All right. So when you are giving a personality, always back it up by action. Never just write down the personality. Okay, Umra says amiable because she is always pleasant and easy to talk to other people. Now, okay, this is a very important tip, and I've seen this mistake a few times in past classes as well, Umra. When you're thinking about personality, think about personality that is related to the topic of the cue card. Okay, so when you think about personality, you must focus on the topic of the cue card. Here it is, a healthy and fit person. So you can talk about them being kind and so on, but it's not really focusing on being healthy and fit. Okay, what kinds of characteristics, personal characteristics, other than dedicated, would be related to being healthy and fit? So Amra, amiable, not so much. Okay, Rashika, that's better, proactive. She organizes her diet and exercise. Monica, very good, focused. Now, members, I'm seeing just the personality coming up. I'm not seeing the action coming up. Okay, I need to see the action coming up as well. Okay, so where is the action? How can I see this? Monica, focused. Where's the action? Okay. Manny Deep, hardworking. Where's the action? All right, I want to see the action as well. Monica says prompt. Prompt is okay, Monica. I would say punctual. Okay, where's the action? All right. Okay, Mien, much better. Passionate. Be visual, Mien. She inspires others. Inspiring others to go swim is kind of an action, but how? She coaches children, right? Okay, Mien, so more visual. When she has time, she coaches children for swimming. Okay. Okay, Manny Deep, much better. Practices 5 hours a day. Okay. Hardworking, yep. So swims 3 to 4 hours a day. Okay. Passionate, inspires other, coaches children, races, right? So she participates in swimming meets and swimming races. Okay. All right. Monica, regular to her practice. Yes, so punctual would be 10 minutes before practice, I would say. Okay, so shows up 10 minutes before practice. All right. Okay, now you get the idea. Again, viewers, members, when you're talking about a person, you have to think personality and action. If you're just jumping from personality to personality, it's confusing for your listener and it's low quality communication. So if I'm saying like my sister Anna is a very athletic person, she's kind, she's happy, she's hardworking, oh yeah, and she's very, very focused, then it's kind of like, huh? What's going on with this person? Like, I get it, but I don't get it. Okay. All right. Rashika says enthusiastic. Very good. Okay. She wakes up early in the morning. Sure. So all of those are now good. All right. Now, of course, step number 5 after step 4 with the notes is to have your first sentence ready. Before your 1 minute preparation time is up. Okay. This is so you can be very fluent, and you know this, okay? So you need to get your first sentence ready so that you can be fluent, so that when the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, then you can start speaking right away. Okay, so you have to be fluent, you have to speak right away. Okay, so you have to be fluent and you have to be on topic as soon as the examiner starts you. So a very fit and athletic person who I have known all my life is my sister Annie. Okay, so here all I'm doing is I'm using the question topic to directly answer the question. Please, viewers, students, please, please, please do not start by saying, okay, so do not start by saying this, right? Do not start by saying there are many athletic people that I have met in my life. Sports are important to stay healthy. So a lot of people do physical activity. But the person I would like to talk about today is, okay, don't say that, okay? This is frustrating for examiners. It's a template. They know this, and it wastes time. Examiners know that this is a template, and it wastes time. It leads to low band scores, okay, or lower band scores, okay? Template type English on the Ielts does not work, okay? Examiners know that this is a template and it wastes time, so it results in lower band scores, okay? So don't start like that, okay? Keep that in mind, right? This is for all of our viewers. I know that many of our members know not to do this, all right? Rashika says, my sister Geeta is a healthy and fit person I know that plays sports. Very good, Rashika. Great start. Using the question, direct, clear grammar, good. Okay. A very fit and athletic person who I have known all my life. Look at the I have known all my life. So right away I'm showing my grammatical range and accuracy here. Okay. Is my sister Annie. She has been an avid swimmer for the past 20 years, or I don't know, let's make it a little bit less, 15 years, and spends many hours each week either at the pool or in the gym. Okay, so again, focusing on the question, okay? So Annie is 21 years old and started swimming at the age of 6. She has a great figure for the sport. As she is tall, she is 180 centimeters and weighs about 70 kilos of pure muscle. I don't think she has an ounce of fat on her body. Okay, All right. Okay. So far so good. So notice how I'm using the cue card topic of the healthy and fit person who I know that plays sports to describe what she looks like. Okay. So a very fit and athletic person who I have known all my life is my sister Annie. Now, when I'm doing this, members and viewers, make sure to speak and repeat. Okay? So copy what I say and copy how I say it. All right? A very fit and athletic person who I have known all my life is my sister Annie. She has been an avid swimmer for the past 15 years and spent many hours each week either at the pool or in the gym. Notice the present perfect here as well, has been. Okay, and notice the either or, that correlative conjunction to emphasize spending time in the gym. Okay, now members, go ahead and write sentences using the notes into the chat and I will take a look at it, okay? Annie is 21 years old and started swimming at the age of 6. She has a great figure for the sport as she is tall. She is 180 centimeters in height and weighs about 70 kilos of pure muscle. I don't think she has an ounce of fat on her body. She has long brown hair, blue eyes, and an hourglass figure with broad shoulders. Okay, so an hourglass figure with broad shoulders again means that her body type is where it's kind of like this. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so broad shoulders like that. Okay, swimmers have broad shoulders in most cases because of all of that swimming. Amra says an individual whom I have known personally for the past 6 years is my fellow classmate Omar, and he is definitely as fit as a fiddle who goes swimming regularly. Nice. Fit as a fiddle is a good expression, Amra. Omar is a 19-year-old clean-shaven man. He is 185 centimeters tall with broad shoulders and a muscular body. Very nice writing, very nice speaking, Amra. That is great. Okay, that's exactly what you want to do. I made a couple of corrections there in real time. Take note of those. Okay. All right, so now I've given description of her body type. Now we have a picture of Annie, and now I want to give her personality related to the topic of the cue card with actions to back that up, right? So here we go. Let's start with dedicated, okay? She is very dedicated to swimming. She has practice at least 5 times each week. She wakes up at 5 a.m. to go swimming for 2 hours before going to university. She is extremely hard working. After completing her classes, at uni, she goes to the gym for about an hour to complete an evening workout. Of course, she is very passionate about fitness and her sports. She inspires others to get in shape and coaches children's swimming on the weekends, at least a couple of times each year. She participates in swim meets where she has won several medals over the past decade and a half. Sports help Annie to stay very focused and organized. She plans her schedule at least a month ahead so that she can get high grades in her courses, as well as keep up with her exercise routine. Okay, so I'm kind of semi-mumbling. That's because while I'm doing this, I'm focusing on my notes, okay? So I'm focusing on all of these personality and action that we listed here. I'm not, so somebody who maybe is joining into the class right now, they're like, well, how is he coming up with that step by step? But all I'm doing is I'm really just taking what you have suggested for the notes for personality and action, and I'm putting those into sentences, okay? All right, Amra, every morning he stretches for 15 minutes and then hits the gym in the evenings and on the weekends. We don't say stretch the body, okay? Just stretch. Stretches is the verb. For 15 minutes, okay? All right, so a little bit of a correction there, Amra. Rashika says she has been swimming since the age of 6 and still dedicates her time and energy to being a professional swimmer. Very nice, okay? Or competitive swimmer, Rashika. Professional swimmer is okay. Competitive swimmer is maybe a little bit more common, all right? Okay, now, what should I do at this point? So I have I've got about a minute of conversation here, or a minute of talking here, and it's 213 words that I just wrote here. What should I do at this point? So when I get to, actually I have more because I still have more words here. Now, keep up with her exercise routine. So I have about 250 words. What should I do at this point? So at this point in the response, what should I do? What's my next step? There's something very important because I'm a minute in, so I definitely want to do this. Amra says, check your notes and look at the cue card. So my notes I think are okay, but at this point I definitely want to check the card, right? So many people forget to check the card, and that's really bad, okay? You cannot miss the questions on the card. So I check the cue card, and the cue card says, how does playing sports affect this person's life? What is your opinion of him or her? I have to answer these questions, okay? So, here we go. I think, answer them directly. I think that sports have had a very positive impact on Annie's life. Not only is she very healthy and energetic, I mean, she never feels under the weather. Means she's never sick. Might as well. Idiom works there. I can use it. Now, don't force idioms, but if you can think of one like this, yes, definitely it will help your lexical resource mark on your IELTS exam to push it to a higher band score. I mean, she never feels under the weather, but she is also a very happy person. She always wears a smile and gives others encouragement. In fact, she has motivated me to exercise regularly. Of course, I love her very much, and I have a lot of respect for her work ethics. Okay, so now I've answered those last two questions, and most likely at this point, the examiner will stop me. They'll say, okay, that is the end of part 2. We will now go on to part 3. But Amrit, let's say that they don't stop you, okay? You can continue. You can continue to expand and give more details, okay? In addition, sports have opened many doors for Annie. She recently received a scholarship, a sports scholarship, to be more specific. From her university, as she is on the university swim team. Okay, so you can keep expanding if the examiner doesn't stop you. Okay, for this reason, I'm very proud of her. Okay, so what is your opinion of him or her? So I'm adding more information to those last two questions. Just be very visual, right? We could talk about an athletic person and how sports change their life for a lot more than 1 to 2 minutes if you are visualizing and thinking quickly in a clever way. Okay? All right, so see that, Amri? You can expand more. Just make sure you stay on topic. Focus on those last two questions, okay? Annie has seen many different places around the country and the world, going to different swim competitions. So sports have really broadened her experience culturally as well. Okay, so lots more there. Thank you for the thumbs up, Amrit. I can see that you understand clearly, okay? All right. So here we go, everybody. At least 1 to 2 minutes here. Speak and repeat after me. So talk about a healthy and fit person you know who plays sports. A very fit and athletic person whom I have known all my life is my sister Annie. She has been an avid swimmer for the past 15 years and spent many hours each week either at the pool or in the gym. Annie is 21 years old and started swimming at the age of 6. She has a great figure for the sport as she is tall. She is 180 centimeters in height and weighs about 70 kilos of pure lean muscle. I don't think she has an ounce of fat on her body. She has long brown hair, blue eyes, an hourglass figure with broad shoulders. She is very dedicated to swimming. She has practice at least 5 times each week. She wakes up at 5 a.m. to go swimming for 2 hours before going to university. She's extremely hardworking. After completing her classes at uni, she goes to the gym for an hour to do an evening workout. Of course, she is very passionate about fitness and her sports. She inspires others to get in shape and coaches children swimming on the weekend. At least a couple of times each year, she participates in swim meets where she has won several medals over the past half decade. Sports help Annie to stay very focused and organized. She plans her schedule at least 1 month ahead so that she can get high grades in her courses, as well as keep up with her exercise routine. I think sports have had a very positive impact on Annie's life, not only because she is very healthy and energetic. I mean, she never feels under the weather, but she is also a very happy person. She always wears a smile and gives others encouragement. In fact, she has motivated me to exercise regularly. Of course, I love her very much and I have a lot of respect for her work ethic. In addition, sports have opened many doors for Annie. She recently received a sports scholarship from her university, as she's on the team. For this reason, I'm very proud of her. Okay, all right. So that's how it goes. Students, members, time to do a bit of volunteering, okay? So hopefully during the lesson, you've thought about a person that you know who is fit and plays sports, and now it's your time to answer this cue card, okay? To volunteer for speaking, members, viewers, we're going to do this next class as well, so pay attention. First, go to our website, aehelp.com, okay? So this website is aehelp.com, www.aehelp.com. And then click on the Join Now button to join our Premium IELTS package, or the green button to create a free account. Okay. Once you have created your account, go to your My Student page. And in your My Student page, click this Student Partner Speaking button. And up pops a window that says accept the terms of speaking, which means that you are polite and you are respectful and you don't share private information, so don't give people your phone number. And then you will be able to practice with me by clicking the blue envelope beside the handle master, okay? So you'll see master in there. Click the blue envelope and send me a message. Amra is on the ball today. So Amra, I have a feeling you are anxious to volunteer. Hi Amra, are you ready? So I'll message you back just like with Amra right now. And then once you say, yes, I'm ready, or yes, just a simple yes is okay, then I can connect with you and you can begin. Okay, here we go. Hi, Amra. I hear that you picked up, but I don't hear you. Not sure what's going on there, Amra. Let me try with somebody else and then I'll circle back to you. In the meantime, can you just make sure everything is set up on your end? The chat has been working really well these past few days, so let me just check with someone else, and then if there's an issue, I'll deal with it. But it has been working quite well, so let me just see if somebody else can connect. Okay. All right, let's try Manideep. Okay. I have to make sure, Amra, that it's not just with our connection. Okay. If it's with others as well, then I'll deal with it.
Hey Adrian.
Hi, Manideep. Okay, I can definitely hear you. Yeah, so good, Manideep. We'll start in just one moment. I'm just going to send a message here to Amra. Amra, I am able to connect with Manideep, so there's a chance that it's on your end. You have to check your system and see what's going on there. Okay, Manideep, are you ready to try this cue card?
Yes, I'm really excited, and I think this is the first time I'm trying the cue card.
Good. Yeah. Cue card is very important to practice. In fact, when you're practicing for the speaking section, Manideep, I know that your English is quite good. You should be focusing 60 to 70% of your speaking practice time that you spend on IELTS on part two. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so that's a smart way to do it because it's the most different type of speaking. It's not something we do every day. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back to this cue card. I'll start you off. Okay, and then
Sure.
You can begin. So here we go. Okay, now we shall begin part two. Describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
A very healthy and fit person whom I have known all of my life is my best friend Varma. He has round face with black eyes and hair. He is 6 foot tall, weighs around 100 kilograms, and as muscular as Arnold. He has been playing tennis for the past 5 years and also training himself at the gym continuously to maintain the fitness. He plays tennis and also cricket sometimes. He practices tennis for at least 3 hours a day after his work. And in fact, he has won a state level championship in tennis. And he also creates content on tennis, educational content on tennis, which shows his passionate towards the sports. I think sports had a great impact on his life. He Sports made him stay active and positive. He's always encouraging people and also was able to balance his life both in terms of work and sports. In my opinion, he is very helpful and also a smart guy. Sports help him stay calm and focused in whatever he does. And I think I'm very proud of having such a beautiful friend.
Okay, I will stop you there. Your 2 minutes is up, and now we will continue with part three. For part three, I will ask you some more questions related to the topic of part two. Let's talk about fitness. Money Deep, first of all, two big thumbs up. That was really good. That was beautiful. Okay, very nice. That was a solid 7.5 to 8 at least. Okay, solid, and that now has built a very good foundation for your part three. So when I ask you part three questions, and we're going to do that next class, make sure to volunteer again, and you can use what you just told me about
Sure.
Verma. That builds you a strong foundation. You can say, as I said in part two about my friend Verma, sports have a very positive impact on a person's mood or emotional state, right? So you can now use that as your foundation, and that will make your part three much better. All right, you had some really good elements, and there were a couple of parts where you can improve, and I'll tell you where those are, okay, in just a moment. I wonder if anybody caught it. Let's do a little bit of peer constructive criticism. So I'm going to ask our members here if they can identify what Money Deep can improve. Let me give you a hint. There was one element that was somewhat missing from Manideep's response. So Ghazi, Amra, or Amrit, Rashika, me. What do you think was kind of missing from Manideep's response? Okay. Before I spoil it for you, it's very good practice, by the way, Manideep, to be able to criticize positively others speaking that you're practicing with.
Yeah.
Amrit says questions not covered. I don't know, Amrit. I think that Manideep, you did a pretty good job covering the question. So you talked about who the person is. They're your friend. I visually saw them. I really liked the description, by the way, the round face. You gave me the weight, 100 kilograms. So that was quite good. I thought that your description was very good. Your sports that you described, that was good too. You said tennis is the main sport, but they also play a team sport like cricket. And I thought that was very good. I thought you actually answered how playing sports affects the person's life, and the opinion I thought was there too. So I do believe that you answered all the questions on the card. That was good. But there was something else that was kind of missing, and it becomes very obvious once you see it. Once you see it, you're like, oh, that was missing. Do you know what it was, Manideep, by any chance? What
I
part was
think
missing?
it has to be details. I wanted to add more details.
No, not the details. I think your details were actually fairly good, and you used good quantitative information as well. That's why, I mean, band 758 is high. So it's that was solid. I think the details were okay.
Maybe I was talking about the personality, but I was not talking about the actions.
Other way around.
Okay.
Other way around.
Yeah.
You were talking about the actions, but not the personality. All right.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody caught that, but you said he practices tennis at least 3 hours a day. So you told me that he's hardworking, but you didn't actually tell me that he's hardworking. Okay.
Yes. In fact, I realized it lately, and when I was saying the line, he creates educational content on tennis, and then I mentioned it. This shows he's passionate towards sports.
Yeah,
I realized
exactly.
it lately.
Exactly. So your personality was somewhat missing. So, it's actually if you're going to make a mistake, it's the better mistake, because actions will intuitively describe personality. So me as your listener, if you tell me that he practices at least 3 hours a day, I can understand that he's hardworking. But if you tell me that he's hardworking and you don't tell me that he practices 3 hours a day, I'm more confused. So if you're going to forget one of the two, it's better to forget the personality than the action. But in a perfect world, for that really high band score, for that very clear communication, you want to have both the personality and the action for the individual. So you want to say that he is a very hardworking individual. He practices tennis at least 3 hours a day. Okay. Hitting at least 1,000 tennis balls. I know that he hits 200 serves each time he goes out on the court. So that would be better. So, and there were a couple of spots. If when you watch this video again and you watch this part of the video, Manideep, you'll see that, okay, I should have added a personality there, and there.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, a really good point. I hope that a lot of students caught this. You used a simile. This is called a simile in figurative language, where we compare to a commonly known situation. So you said he is as muscular as Arnold. Okay. I thought that was great. If I were your examiner, you would have definitely seen me smile for that part. Of course, Manideep here is referring to Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And I think that was a really good simile. So similes are powerful tools, figurative tools in communication, and I thought that was really good. I thought that was very clever. So those earn you band scores, okay? Now, here, let me see. There's a couple of places where you could have used a bit more present perfect as well, Manideep, okay? So it's a lot of this is achievement, right? So he has created educational content on tennis. I think sports have had a great impact on his life. So when you listen to this again, when you watch the video again, try to repeat some of these sentences and change them from simple past into present perfect or present perfect continuous. And you'll see how they become much better. Okay?
Sure, Adrian.
All right. And then that will increase your grammatical range and accuracy score. And then you'll get into that band 9 range. Okay?
Sure, Adrian.
All right. Any questions about part 2 since it's your first time Money Deep with part 2?
I was wondering if did I speak for 1 minute or less than 1 minute?
I think you spoke almost for 2. I didn't time it, unfortunately, but I've done a lot of this, and I believe you actually spoke for more than 2. Or
Okay.
about 2. So yes, that was a really good question. You should feel how long you speak. When you go through the steps, so when you go through the correct steps for structure, for talking about people or objects or events, you usually will end up at about 90 seconds to 2 minutes when you speak fluently, okay?
Sure,
All right.
Adrian.
One more point, Money Deep. This very last sentence, you said, I think I'm very, and then you stopped for a bit, and then you said, proud to have a friend like Verma.
Yeah.
Now, some people might think that was kind of a mistake that you stopped for so long. Not at all. I love how you finished that sentence. I could tell that you were thinking about like, well, what am I very something? Like you weren't thinking about the English, but you're like, what is very, okay, I'm very proud of him. All right. And then you said, okay, I'm very proud to have a friend like Verma. It was a good natural finish and that was very solid. Okay. So
Yeah.
good job on that.
And actually, I wanted to not use beautiful because for this, especially for this topic, I think the word beautiful may not sound correct, but I was out of words.
Yeah, and for a man, we would probably use the word handsome instead of beautiful,
Yeah.
but it's okay. We live in a modern world and people have been using all kinds of descriptors for men and women, and now there's like cross genders and both genders. So people are much more open-minded. So using beautiful to describe a man is becoming very common these days as well. So not a problem. I don't think that would have been a problem for you. Okay.
Sure, Adrian.
All right, Manny Deep, keep it up. Hang around. Make sure to come back for the next class too, okay?
And I just want to mention that I got the details for my speaking section as well, and it is scheduled on 22nd June. That is on Wednesday.
Awesome. I think you'll do great. Just keep up this practice, and I think you'll do just awesome. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Adrian.
You're very welcome. Bye, Manny Deep. Okay, that was Manny Deep. Let's see. Sam. Let's see how you're doing. Sam. All right. Sam says, I got a band 6 score. All right, Sam, are you doing it again? Would you like to volunteer for part 2? If you're still there. So let's see. Hopefully Sam is still there. We can chat with Sam for a minute about his experience. Maybe Sam can tell us what his part 2 was about. And then we can practice. Sorry, there's a really poor internet. Okay, Sam, that's fair. I appreciate you telling me instead of having a really bad connection here. So, okay. All right. Monica, I'd like to give you a chance because I know you haven't had a chance in a bit. So are you ready? Okay. We do have speaking part 3 coming up in about 40 minutes, everybody. So if I don't ping you in this class, I will look for you in the next class. Okay. So we'll get more and more people. Okay, Monica, are you there? Let's try to connect. Okay, and Amra, check your connection. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on or what type of connection you're using, but check it out, okay, in the meantime, and test it with some other students. All right. Hi, Monica.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Monica. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. What about you? Thank you.
I am doing wonderful. Monica, let's get right into it. Let's do part 2. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will start you off, all right? So here we go. Now we shall begin part 2. Describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Your 1-minute preparation time begins now. Okay, your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
A very fit and athletic person who I have known for my life is my younger sister. I know she has started their training for archeries at our town club. Since she is practicing, uh, she has been practicing archery at archery club for 2 years ago, and she is very passionate about archeries, and she always uh, prompt to she always punctual to their practice, and she reached at uh, time, and she started some warm-ups and started her practice. And in my opinion, she is very talented and very hardworking girl. She always try to uh, practice all their tricks and techniques on daily basis. In my I think she might be a good national level player if she continue practice.
Okay, your 2 minutes is up. I will stop you there. And now we will continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2. Let's talk about fitness. Okay, Monica, not bad, not bad. It's a good start. You're working hard to answer the questions, not repeat yourself, use good vocabulary. I think that for this part 2, you would get a band 5. Okay? For the following reason, band 6 means fluent user of the English language. So to get a band 6, you have to be fluent. You cannot get stuck thinking about words and grammar and vocabulary. And for me, it felt that you got stuck several times thinking about the right word, thinking about the right sentence. So
Yes.
the way to improve that is just lots of practice, and focusing on answer, explanation, example, focusing on the structure of personality and action. And Monica,
Yes.
very important advice. Okay,
uh,
you have to look at the cue card when you stop, when you pause. So you said she always try to practice tips and techniques on a daily basis, and then you completely froze. You're like, oh, what do I need to say? What should I say?
Yeah,
And I could
yes.
tell in your head, you're like, oh, what do I do? I'm so stuck. I got to say something. And then suddenly you said, okay, I think she can be a good national level player. The cue card, I even have it highlighted here. How does playing
Yes,
sports
yes.
affect this person's life, right?
I just see the question after I stuck, and then I see question, and then I started to speak.
Yeah, so a bit faster. When you get stuck, as soon as you're like, oh, I'm stuck, immediately look at the question. Oh, how does it affect the person's life? Oh, she is happy. She's very positive because she is doing what she loves. She loves archery, and it always puts her in a positive mood. When she comes home from practice, she is always so full of energy and so talkative, right? So you look at the questions. That's why they're there, okay?
Right.
Unfortunately, in the Ielts exam, the examiner cannot tell you to look at the questions. And it's so painful for the examiner when they see the candidate is stuck and they're not looking at the questions. It's a really painful situation for the examiner as well, because they want to tell you, they want to say, hey, look at the question, but they can't tell you that, okay?
Right, sir.
They're not allowed to. Also, Monica, grammar. Pay attention to your grammar. You have lots of
Okay.
grammatical mistakes, so do regular grammar practice, okay?
Right, sir.
Okay. All
All
right,
right.
Monica, keep it up. Thank you so much for volunteering. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next
Thanks
class,
for
okay?
giving me a answer. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye.
Right. Thank you.
All right, that was Monica. Okay, everyone. Amrit, nice and fast. I'm going to try to do two more quick ones, okay? Amrit, are you ready? At least one more quick one. I'm looking at the time here and I want to fit some more of our members in to the response. Okay, so hi Amrit. Hi
Hello.
Amrit. Hi, how are you?
I am doing great, sir. What about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Amrit, we're going to push forward with the practice. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. I am always ready.
Oh, that's a good way to be. All right, so I'll start you off. IELTS speaking part 2. Describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Your 1-minute preparation time begins now. Okay, your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
A fit and athletic person who I have now all of my life is my sister Anu. She has been a swimmer for the past 15 years and spends 5 to 6 hours a day in order to stay fit and fine. Her weight is nearly 75 kg, even though she has been going to gym for the past 4 years. She started swimming at the age of 10 when she was studying at primary school. She is very hardworking and helps a lot of children who live in my community with their diets. And she has been going to near home park in the morning time where she is doing a lot of activities like yoga, walking, and other physical activities. I also follow her diet in order to maintain my health. She took part in several swimming competitions and got a lot of awards. And in the evening time, she also teaches a lot of children how to swim. She also keep a smile on her face because she can easily handle every situation. And I am also planning to learn to swim from her because this skill is very crucial. So I will definitely learn this skill.
Okay, your time is up. I will stop you there. All right, Amrit, that was about a band 6.5. So you're 6 to 6.5. You're fluent, you're answering the questions, but you're rushing. Okay, you need to slow down a little bit, pay more attention to details, and pay more attention to the question. Okay, you talked for about 2 minutes, but you didn't really answer these last two questions clearly and directly. So how does playing sports affect this person's life? I kind of got it, but not directly. Instead of telling me that you're planning to learn to swim from her, tell me your opinion of her. I have a lot of respect for her because she's so hardworking and she has achieved so many awards and so much recognition. Okay, so more about directly answering the questions. Okay. And because you're rushing, I think you're missing some details. Okay, so you said she has been going to the near home by park where, sorry, here, this one. I also follow her diet to maintain my health, is what you said. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is her diet? So you follow her diet, but what's the diet that you're following? So, like eating lots of fruits and vegetables.
I eat green vegetables.
Yeah, like eating lots of greens. So that kind of a detail, right? So you talked about the diet and following the diet, but what is the diet, right? I can't guess that as the examiner. So always think about that detail. In natural English, Amrit, we don't say kgs. Okay, we say kilograms or kilos. We never say kgs, verbally not. Okay, so you have to say kilos or kilograms. Okay,
Okay, sir.
all right.
and I think I also go with another sports like cricket.
Swimming is fine. You don't need to, so you don't have to mention multiple sports. You can mention just one sport like swimming here. That's okay. Just pay attention to details more and make sure to answer the questions directly that are on the card. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, keep
Got
it
it.
up and lots of practice. You're doing well, so you're going to be ready for your exam. Just more practice, more practice, more practice, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay, Amrit, we'll see you in the
Thank.
next class.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
giving me another
Bye.
chance.
All right. Me, I really wanted to get to you as well, but I am out of time and I kind of don't see you in the chat there either. Me, if you're still listening, come back for the next class for part 3, and I'll definitely join up with you there. Okay, everyone? So the website here that we're using is aehelp.com for this speaking. Okay. That website again is aehelp.com. And you just need to join the website, the full version, by clicking this join now button. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, or to register a free account, the green button, try demo button. We're going to use the website in our next class coming up in 30 minutes. That class will be speaking part 3, and it will follow this speaking part 2. So more about health and fitness. Ghazi, me, other members, and other students, I will be watching for you in that class. That class will be an all chat class where everybody will be able to join the chat and everybody will be able to volunteer for the speaking as well. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you in the next half hour. Keep up the good practice. Pay attention to these tips. If you didn't have a chance to practice this cue card, practice it now in this half hour so that you can use that information in our speaking part 3 class. Write it down, okay? All right, everyone. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria for half an hour, a short break, and then I'm back with more speaking for the IELTS exam. Bye for now.